square meal. Food pyramid, son. Biscuit, cheese, dead chicken, biscuit. It's the 4 food groups.
I'd give my chicken biscuit I just had a 4.5 out of 5. This coffee, yesterday I would have given it a 5 out of 5. Today, 2.5 out of 5. I mean, what do you think about it?
Pretty much tastes like somebody drained hot water down their ass.
All right, you're right. 3 out of 5. When you put it that way.
Yeah.
Is he still alive? I figured a trampoline would have got him by now.
I hope that's on camera.
Trampoline Green! Woo!
That peaked some levels.
I kind of wish you would have chest slapped me and knocked me out after you did that.
All right. So last night we went to a Hornets game, and that was the first time you've been to a professional basketball game.
Yes.
This is the first time you've been to a professional anything.
Do you want me to tell the same joke that I did
Yeah.
last time? What was it? Oh, it was about, it's the first time I've been to a professional anything. I think that includes doctors.
Okay.
Nailed it.
So take me through this. You knew you were going to a professional sporting event.
Yeah, so you pull out your keys, pull out your key ring, give them your wallet, and I noticed that I had a pocket knife,
Yeah.
a Spider Tenacious to be specific, $38 on Amazon.
Okay.
And,
You're going to include the link here?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
have
yeah.
the link flash up. on the
Exactly.
screen.
So I handed the guy, and he's like, "Oh, you can't have this in here," you know. And I said, "Well, I don't want to give it up because it was $38, you know." So I walked outside, and I thought for a second. This older lady, was there, and she says, "What do you got?" I said, "I got a knife. I don't want to give it away." I said, "Can you hang on to it?" And she's like, "No, but you can go put it in them hedges over there." So I thought about it for a second.
I don't believe that an old woman gave you this.
This
is she
is true.
like a knife witch?
She was a part of the So I go across the street, and I put my knife in the 3rd or 4th bush away from the sidewalk. And the lady walked by, and I looked at her, and I said, "My knife better be here when I get back."
Oh, wait, you thought it was a setup?
Yeah. I thought she just collects knives all night.
But the best part is that you recovered the knife.
I recovered it, sharp as ever, in the crotch of a tree, crotch of a hedge, tucked it in the...
Is that that's the scientific term?
Yeah,
the crotch of a hedge.
anytime two things meet, it's a crotch.
Finally, a good segue into something, which is, where in the fuck are you from?
I'm from Boaz, Alabama. Population 14,000. Anytime we're mentioned in the national conversation, it's always something like Roy Moore or...
Yeah, sure.
We got our good things, but for the most part, if it weren't for Mississippi, we'd be dead ass last.
That is the most truly Southern thing you've ever done, though. Is that like you had to make sure that you got a jab in on Mississippi real quick.
Yeah. 'Cause who do they shit on?
Other people from Mississippi.
I guess.
But I mean, I think that's a really interesting thing to get into, or a nice sort of bridge to. So the loose structure of this thing is the first question I always want to ask somebody is like, how did you fall in love with being creative?
Well, I remember drawing as early as I could remember. And I think I really started to take creativity seriously through just subtraction. I sucked at football, I sucked at this, and like everything I tried, I think I just lost interest in. And when I was a teenager, I stopped drawing so much, and I was in like bands, because that's what I wanted to do, be a musician. But I got tired of you're always negotiating with 3 other people, and it's hard. It's hard to be in a band. So what drove me back to drawing is, especially comics, is you got a pen, a piece of paper, and that's all you need. You don't really need any kind of to do it. But I didn't think about doing it professionally till I was probably 23 or 24, much later than I think a lot of people.
But is there anybody from your family who was...
No, my mom kind of painted.
That's my mom too.
She tried it. She was pretty good. I have a painting of hers hanging in my office. The only painting of hers that I know of. But no, my parents never encouraged it. My dad, I feel weird talking about my dad on here. He didn't encourage that kind of thing, So don't listen to this if you're my old man.
That you're uncomfortable with or not.
I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
To your family, I know for me, I was really lucky in that I had super supportive parents.
Yeah.
And I will say that, like, to the end of the earth, like, whatever anybody thinks of my work, if they like it, you can credit them as much as you can credit me, because, they gave me every chance not to quit, which is the opposite of what the world usually does to people,
Yeah. It's hard. It's a hard thing to stick to, comics. And, I tell people sometimes that I wonder if I would have been a painter or a fine artist or something entirely different. But my exposure to art and to drawing was through comics. I'd never really seen anybody like draw in a proficient level in any way, but comics. So when you're a kid, you see Wolverine, you draw Wolverine. So I wound up going to Auburn for a little bit for industrial design, because I thought I can draw, and this is a way to like parlay that into making money, So I go to Auburn, really competitive industrial design program, and I did pretty well in it. I just hated it. So I dropped out, and that's when I decided that I wanted to do comics. I had no idea how difficult it would be or whatever, but I was 22, 23, and I started like really drawing in earnest like every night. And soon after that I would start going to conventions and doing that kind of thing, trying to get people to look at my work.
You mentioned today that I portfolio reviewed you, and I do remember it.
Yep.
Because I remember it, and I mostly remember it because I was like, this dude with the most crazy Southern accent.
Sure, yeah.
I've ever heard of came by. And I remember it's twofold. I remembered it because it was like, this motherfucker just fell off a turnip truck. But also because the work was solid. Like it showed promise.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that other than I just wanted to say that you were impactfully naive and ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I think if anything, that being a little unusual is it certainly helped me more than hurt me, because people remember you a little better, and I don't know, that hasn't hurt me.
Yeah, but could you be somebody else if you really even tried?
It's a big ass question.
That's a big question, but I do think that, one thing that is weird about being a Southern person is that, or a Southern white man in particular, is that we can willfully change easier than any other group that exists. Like, we could walk into a store tomorrow, buy different clothes, get rid of the way we talk, and nobody has to know what our cultural associations are. If you wear it earnestly, I think you're examining it, as opposed to saying like, well, I'm fucking from the South and that's the best place to be from, or being like, oh, it's an awful, evil thing that happened to me.
It's largely true, and I can't shirk off my Southernness because of the accent my parents gifted me with,
It's the greatest gift they've ever given you.
I make it work for me.
Your mom do you think she was a frustrated artist, or do you think it was just...
Well, She probably was. Her trade was she was a seamstress, so she did a lot of creative work that way. You know, custom tailoring clothes, stuff like that. She's a crafty person. So yeah, I think I got some of that from her, but you know, my family were fundamentalist Christians too. So when it came to like
that, but I forgot that.
yeah, my dad was a preacher. So when it came to like me liking X-Men and Spawn and all that shit, you know, they were not interested in that stuff at all, you know. So like I think they maybe liked it that I drew, but they didn't want me to draw evil shit, you know.
Like, what do you mean, evil shit?
Just anything that's like, vaguely, anything that's vaguely supernatural. My mom thought that it was, you know, it was opening
like
the door.
troll dolls.
Yes, opening the door for Satan to. Old Slewfoot to get in the house, and you know she was probably right.
Did you see that video of the lady ripping up Wicked and Divine? The whole like 30-minute video of this lady showing how to like get rid of demons in your home.
Nice.
By like, you know, you can't trust the people who used to live in your home. They might have been devil people. And she like rips an issue of Wicked and Divine. To exercise her home.
That'll teach them. That'll teach the devil a thing or two. But if the people that used to live in your house were devil people, there's a good chance they're going to leave some cool shit for you. And point in case.
Yeah. Like a cooler knife than the one you have.
Yeah, like
a snake-shaped knife.
Yes.
Shit.
Yes, and some Alan Moore rings.
Yeah.
You know those rings with the scorpion on them. You know, in my closet, I had a couple of hustlers hidden away, and I had some spawns. And I would have rather my mama. I would rather my mama had found the hustlers than the spawns. I think.